Hi, my name is Marwa Chowdhury and I will be answering some interview questions. Question number 1, tell me about you. An adjective that I would use to describe myself would be optimistic. I like to look at the positives of every situation and any type of circumstance. An example of this would be when I was applying for jobs straight after high school. I had applied in person and online. I made sure I fixed up my resume and had some referrals done from other people as well, so it looked credible. And despite all the interview processes that I went through, a lot of people were rejecting me. In a normal situation, anyone would get upset or disheartened, but I didn't let that tear down my spirits because I felt that I had the proper experience and knowledge. So if it wasn't one job, it would be the next, and something else would be best for me and it's on its way. And in being patient and optimistic, I actually had a better job offer, and this job position I really enjoyed and I learned a lot through that job. So it was worthwhile, and being positive is an easier way to grasp the challenges of life that we face. Question 2 is tell me about one weakness of yours. A weakness of mine would be that I tend to be more reserved slash shy around new people that I meet. An experience of this would be in high school. I had a lot of group work and paired up activities with strangers of classmates in which I didn't know. And I'm more of a listener, so I wouldn't initiate conversations properly and I would be more reserved. And this caused a bit of conflict in communication and in creating new friendships. I became aware of this and overcame this obstacle by expressing myself slowly in a way that was comfortable for me and getting to know the other people. And it was a great experience because I met great people along the way and learned many new things. It was great to be open-minded, and I could only do that once I stopped being so shy. Question 3 is tell me about a time in which you had to overcome a problem. A problem that I encountered was at my workplace 2 years ago. This was an argument between my manager and my supervisor. So my manager was overloading my supervisor with her job duties, and this was highly unfair and completely wrong on her part. But the supervisor wasn't communicating her emotions openly, so the manager didn't understand that this was causing some friction between the two, and they would argue and bicker back and forth, and it was slowly building up until they had this huge argument. Now, I was put in a tough situation because I wanted to voice my opinion, and I would obviously do what was correct and just, but my issue was that I was scared of risking my job because it was the manager, and maybe she could take some action or be disheartened toward me and create some friction between me and her, and I didn't want that conflict. But I knew it had to be done. So what I did was I was an effective communicator, and I sat them both down and said, look, we're all on the same page and on the same team. We're working towards the same goal, and this is affecting our work environment, and it's impacting the other employees as well because it's creating a negative space. So we jotted down the list of our problems and we created resolutions together, and we ended up overcoming this obstacle by separating the duties equally, so everyone had their fair share of work to accomplish by the end of the shift. And I was able to help out the argument in being like the mediator and calming everyone down and letting them think calmly and coolly until we formed a better relationship. And then the work environment really improved after that because they both were working hard and equally, and everyone was positive and working towards accomplishing their job duties effectively. Question 4 would be tell me about what makes you different or unique. So what makes me unique is I am a very emotional person. I have high emotional intellect. So with this being said, it describes me as a person as very empathetic. I can really visualize myself in other people's perspectives and situations. I can put myself in their shoes, regardless of if the situation is positive or negative. I can think emotionally and really be vulnerable to what other people are experiencing, regardless of if I ever encountered something like that before. An example of this would be when I was at the grocery store, like about a month ago it happened. This elderly woman was like looking at her phone and like crying, and I was like, "Are you okay, ma'am?" I knew she couldn't be vulnerable to a stranger and share with me what happened, but I just offered her some respect and said, "Is there anything I could do for you? Are you okay? Do you need help?" Just reassuring her that someone was there. And she was very emotional. She was crying and she opened up to me that she had lost a loved one and she just found out over the phone. So I reassured her that things would be okay. And some people just need some comforting words and some reassurance. So I can really be emotional towards strangers, family, friends. I can connect with people very well because life is hard and there's a lot of emotions going on. So it's good to be intact with how we react and correspond with our own emotions as well as others to make sure everyone's going through life in a healthy manner, in a healthy fashion, and in a happy way so that we get the best and positive outcomes. So this has been the interview questions that I have answered. I thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed.